leading the Singapore team. Look at put it away.
Are we able to get that replay? Next over. Please get that ready. Just play it for us. Next ball. Next replay. That shot.
For folks tuning in from around the world, you have plenty of options to be watching live coverage of the Singapore Tri-Nations T20I. The fan code app by Dream11, Velo TV HD, VC Sports, and obviously the Facebook handle of the Singapore Cricket Association as well. So plenty of options. Fantastic work by the Singapore Cricket Association to make this tournament happen. There's an appeal. It looks like it's out. Yes. And Rohan's making the long walk back. Karan Casey, excellent delivery that. Did enough off the pitch to take the outside edge. Regulation catch for the keeper there.
A nice delivery. Just angled into the right-hander, shaped away. Just getting the outside edge. We've seen him a couple of times looking to hit that ball through the onside. Had a lucky break in the last over when that ball didn't carry to the man at backward point. But this time, comfortably taken. Good catch. And that's the end of Rangarajan for 6, 22 for 1 Singapore.
It's going to be their star batsman and also the newly appointed captain of Singapore, Tim Davids, who's going to make his way to the centre. Apologies for the graphics there. That obviously wasn't Tim Davids, Tino.
No, it wasn't. But this is at the crease. 1 wicket down. And a good player. Tim Davids. Be called wide.
He's had the opportunity to represent the Perth Scorchers in the Big Bash League as well. So plenty of T20 experience.
Absolutely. There we go. Timothy David. Big, strong, energetic batter. Has good, solid strokes. And he's off the mark.
Just when the two Singapore batsmen seem to be set, Karan Casey comes up with a peach of a delivery to remove Rohan Rangarajan. Just did enough off the pitch to get that edge. Binod Bandari made no mistake. Wickets are going to hold the key here. And a good old slot from Chandra Mohan once again. We saw a bit of that from Paras Katka last evening. And he's fancying the smaller, the shorter mid-wicket boundaries. That's probably on his mind, Tino.
Absolutely. He's shown a keenness to try and hit the ball over the onside when the ball's a bit pitched up and a little bit straighter. Again, looking to go over that onside field. And it's actually gone for 4. Thought they were just going to get a couple there. But enough on that to get over the boundary. Thick inside edge. takes the score to 28 with a couple of balls to go in the fourth over.
It's been that kind of all or nothing sort of innings from Surendran Chandramohan there. He probably will get himself 2 more runs, yes. He's swatting it hard. Isn't necessarily coming out of the meat of the bat. 20 of 12.
And I think that's what's most important. Runs on the board early in the innings, 30 for 1 now, a ball to go in the fourth over. They won't mind how those runs come, Singapore, as long as they do. Better connection, but this time straight to the man at mid-wicket. End of the fourth over, 30 for 1.
Sompal Kami is going to continue with his third over from the pavilion end. 14 conceded in the first 2, and he's going to be bowling to the captain, Tim Davids, for the first time. Very disciplined effort from the Nepali bowlers today. Surendran Chandramohan is living a little dangerously, isn't he, Tino?
He is indeed. He's really looking to get on with things. Just a couple of overs to go until the end of the 6-over power play. Only wanting to take as much advantage of these last deliveries as possible. Cut away, straight to the man. And in the back of their minds, we talked about how often these two teams play against each other. Played against each other for the last spot for the World T20 qualifiers in Dubai next month. They will know how dangerous Lamichhane is. They would have watched him last night. And in the back of their minds, they're thinking, those are going to be 4 very difficult overs to get through. Let's try and get as many as we can off the other bowlers. Beautifully driven.
Very ordinary effort on the field there, straight through the cover's legs, and that runs away for a boundary. Gifting 4 runs to Tim Davids here. Doesn't matter how they come, as long as they come. A good-looking conventional cover drive went straight through the fielder's legs there. Very interesting tactics from Paras Katka. We haven't seen. We're into the 5th over. So they've obviously discussed this thoroughly, have the Nepal team with the management, because they ran through Lamichhane's overs in the first 7 overs yesterday, and we still haven't seen him bowl today. So interesting tactics.
Good running and good fielding again from Nepal. Good pickup. And I think Tim David could have been in trouble here had that ball hit the stumps direct. However, lives to see another day. And I'm sure that conversation will be about, let's just be careful. These guys are quick in the field, accurate with their throws. No need to get an unnecessary run out at this stage.
That was Arif Sheikh at mid-wicket, and boy was he quick. Quick to get to the ball and even quicker to release. Shot outside off, and he makes enough contact to get himself another boundary. Surendran Chandramohan is starting to express himself here. And you have to say that he's been a bit lucky once again. It's just brute force and he's trying to muscle the ball, and he does exactly that this time on the offside. 2 bounces and then it rolls over the boundary line.
They're taking advantage of that room on the offside. Another one who likes to stay leg side of the ball, so any sort of width is exaggerated by that. This stage, obviously, just the 2 men back on the boundary. Deep backwards square leg and third man. Deep backwards come up now, and the sweeper's gone back on the offside because of that shot. This time, bang, straight back over the bowler's head. And that's the first 6 of the day. He's gone slightly shorter in length, Sumpal. And this one, he's got a meaty connection. 5 overs gone, 45 for 1. One over to go in the power play. Singapore have lost 1 wicket, but they've made some steady progress. 45 for 1. New captain Timothy David, very fresh at the crease, just 6 from 5. But Chandra Mohan has been getting on with the business at the other end. 30 from just 15 balls. 200% strike rate and looking good. We're wondering when he was going to come into the attack. Lamichane, and straight away turn. My good friend Nav has just popped out the commentary box, and I'm joined by Adrian Abraham for the first time in the series. Abraham, good to have you.
Good evening, and welcome to this game today where, great shot there. Timothy David really starting to get a move on here. Sandeep Lamichane not getting his line right there. Smashed away to the boundary.
Very unlike Sandeep Lamichane, one guy who quite often comes in, gets it right from ball 1. Lots of purchase from him from this wicket last night, and we saw that already from the first ball today. Tim David, lots of experience, would have faced him a lot. He'll know how important it is to ensure that Sandeep Lamichane doesn't get wickets and breakthroughs, especially early on in the innings.
No run there by Tim David. Interesting story, to be fair. Tim David plays his cricket with the Perth Scorchers in the Big Bash. And he was born in Singapore, moved to Australia when he was really young, and now captaining the side for the first time tonight. Big day for him.
Absolutely. Direct it again, and this could be trouble. Umpire not interested. Now, we've talked countless times last night, today, about how often the Nepal fielders hit the stumps. Quick single, and decided to get on and move on it pretty quickly. He was home comfortably in the end. But again, something to bear in mind and consider for these Singapore batters.
They're very sharp, aren't they? The fielders from Nepal. Ooh, beauty of the delivery.
Decent first over. 6 gone, 50 for 1. So the power play is done. 50 for 1. Singapore, they'll be quite happy with their progress. Timothy David, 11 from 10. Surendran Chandramohan, 30 from 16. Be a change in the bowling.
Sushan Bari has just come on to bowl. Timothy David still there, taking his time now. Just eased away for a single there. 12 from 10. But Surendran Chandramohan really getting a move on at the other end. 30 from 16. He's looked good. Quite a few shots in the air. More explosive approach to his batting. We've seen Timothy David be a little bit cautious. However, Chandramohan really starting to express himself.
Tim Davids just brings that sense of calmness to the innings. Yes, it's T20 cricket and you want to get on with things, but also lots of opportunity to build partnerships and to be explosive later on in the innings. And just from what I've seen from him today, very cool, calm, collected character. Fits the role of a number 3 batter.
Tim David says no to the run there. In fact, the last time these two played was right here in Singapore when Singapore won by 82 runs. And on that day, it was Timothy Head. He top scored with 77, just the number on the back of his shirt.
Interestingly, both captains actually with number 77 on the back of their shirts today. The other one, Paras Khadka, of course, the Nepalese captain. Bang! Good shot. He'll find the boundary at extra cover. Just a bit of width given on that occasion. And Chandramohan more than happy to put that away to the boundary. Good shot
Bang.
at the end of the 7th over, 55
Good shot.
1.
You'll find the boundary at extra cover.
Lamichani continues. It's a googly. Well picked by Tim David. Happy just to pick off Lamichani, Tim David. Talked about how he'll understand that it's really important that Lamichani doesn't get wickets. If they take him at 5 and over and doesn't get wickets, happy days.
Oh, Tim David says no to a run there. Chandramohan is quick to get off the mark, but the captain sent him back. He likes to play his shots, doesn't he?
I was about to say, it comes across to me as a bit of a hit and miss. Not too many singles in between there. Looks like he's one that likes to muscle the ball away. And if he doesn't get it away, then very difficult for him, I think, to rotate the strike, get himself to the other end.
Nice little start by Singapore, 56 for 1, 7.3 overs. The captain, Timothy David, out in the middle with Surendran Chandramohan.
Beautifully bowled. Absolute beat. He's just given it a little bit more air and just pulled the length back. Sandeep Lamichhane. And you could see Chandramohan looking to play that big stroke again. Man, absolutely bamboozled on this occasion.
The captain's just having a few words with him there to tell him to just pick off the ball. Great ball there. Lamichhane really finding his rhythm, his line and length now, getting into the groove. Unable to play his shots as he was with the other bowlers.
A single to end the 8th. Bowled him. Looking to pepper that onside boundary once again. And we saw this in the last couple of overs that when he wasn't getting across to the other end, rotating the strike, he looked like he was a bit of a hit or miss. However, it has been a good innings, 35 from 26.
Just one shot too many, just too many big shots. I mean, he was really getting frustrated not being able to pick Sandeep Lamichhane, and now he falls. Sushant Bari picks up his first wicket. Singapore 57 for 2 after 8.1 overs.
New man in for Singapore, Manpreet Singh. Explosive player himself. Comes in and joins the new captain, Timothy David. He's on 13 from 13, looking very steady from the other end. They'll be looking to build another partnership. Half decent start for Singapore, 57 for 2. One ball into the 9th over.
Nepal feel like they have a sniff here. The big hitting Chandramohan, he's gone. Manpreet Singh, like you mentioned, joined as captain out in the middle. Explosive player. Made 40 odd from 17 balls the last time these two made. Really likes to play his shots. But a more cautious approach today. Trying to see off Sushant Bari, the spinner. Calls for a quick single there. Oh, bit sloppy, the Nepalese fielder there. You can just see Singapore have started to slow down a bit from the initial stages when Chandramohan was out in the middle. Just the last 2 overs, they've seemed to, Nepal have pulled it back, and that wicket certainly does help.
And you can expect that. Field is spread now. That buzz of the first 6 overs is gone. This is a period where the team wants to ensure that they can build partnerships, get through this period with a minimum of loss of wickets, and come in at the end of the innings and make sure that they capitalize and get themselves to a good score.
Partnership is key over here as Timothy David takes strike. Oh, steps out. Big. How big? It's out of here. It's huge. $64 for 2 after 9 overs.
Oh, steps out. Big. How big? It's out of here.
After 9 overs.
Bowling change here. Kushal Malla comes into the attack. Another spinner. We didn't see them in the initial stages, and now they're coming quite quickly. Huge 6 from Timothy Head, just to finish off that over. Just as we were talking about them slowing down, the captain steps up, smashes it out of the stadium.
Spin the way to go on the surface. We saw it last night after the seamers came on early. Got a bit of a way shape. It's definitely some purchase for the spinners on the surface. It's well fielded by the captain, Paras Khadka, at extra cover.
Manpreet Singh wanted the single there, but his captain was quick to send him back. 1 from 4.
Just over the man. He'll tell you that I did that on purpose and made sure that I plonked it over his head and got the single.
Initially thought it went straight back to him there for a minute. Really wanted to just get a move on, but he can breathe easier now. He's at the non-striker's end as the captain takes strike. 19 from 15. Looked good. Looked very good. Calm, composed, controlled, really building an innings here. He'll want Manpreet Singh to just stay there with him. Goes again. Has he got it? It's out of here again. Timothy Head.
This is good batting from Tim David. He would have played a lot of cricket here and realizes that these straight boundaries he can take advantage of. And this time again, a little bit of air and comes down the wicket.
Again.
Gets to the pitch of it and
Has he
gives
got
it a good heave-ho
It's out of
well
here
over the
again.
bowler's head.
Timothy Head.
And with both the sixes, we've seen that he's not afraid to step down the track. You know, really likes to express himself. 25 from 16. Timothy David really building his innings now. As Kushal Malla comes back in. Where's the captain goes? Just a single.
Moved along to 26 from 17. Starting to look dangerous, Timothy David. Cut away will just be the single. 73. The ball to go to the halfway stage. Singapore will be pretty happy with the proceedings so far.
Dealing in singles is Manpreet Singh, as Timothy David does the majority of the work out here. Steps out again. Only be a single up. The midfield will send it back. End of the 10th over, 74 for 2 Singapore.
It's the halfway stage of the first innings of Game 2 in the Singapore Tri-Nations, powered by Instagram. Singapore have moved happily along to 74 for 2, and we're going to have a change in voice in the commentary box. It's going to be Navneet Krishna, and he's going to be joined by a special guest this evening, Sean Williams.
Thank you, Dino. Thank you, Adrian. Match right in the balance, you'd probably have to say, at the halfway mark. Singapore 74 for 2. Lucky enough to be in the commentary box with the captain of the Zimbabwean team, Sean Williams, and he has a bright smile on his face. No surprise, obviously. Good performance by Zimbabwe yesterday.
Thank you very much. Yeah, thank you for having me in the commentary box. Thank you for having me in here. Yeah, it's exciting to be in Singapore and nice to come and watch a live game here tonight.
For a second, I was assuming that you and the rest of the team will probably be enjoying the sights of Singapore and be out and about, but you chose to be here. What's the game, Sean?
Yeah, obviously I haven't played on this wicket before, so other than last night. So I thought I'd come out and see how the Singapore boys play out here. Obviously, it being short boundaries, I'd like to see how they go about their batting and obviously their bowling as well. Obviously, last night the ball was spinning a lot, so Ryan Bill and Mutumbami got us out of quite a bit of trouble last night, and we'd like to avoid those issues again in tomorrow's match against Singapore.
Very interesting, a couple of points that you alluded to here. We'll start with the spin aspect that you spoke about. There is plenty of spin on offer on this pitch, but having said that, there are a few spinners where it hasn't done much as well.
Yes, definitely. Obviously, you've got to put something on it to be able to get something out of it on this type of wicket. It's a type of wicket that you've got to go bowl back of a length pretty quick and really give it a good rip. So
Here, talking about newly appointed captain.
this was going to happen. I was obviously shocked and a bit
लामी छानेको पछिल्लो ओभर
I wasn't going to let an opportunity just to be able to get obviously, and that's what I would like to do. With a young team coming up and a lot of talent in Zimbabwe and also in the current team at the moment, you look at Ryan Bill, Mutumbudzi, Timson Maruma, even Richmond Mutumbami, and we've got a young man, Tony, as well, who hasn't actually played. He's played 2 games, but he hasn't had a chance to bat or bowl yet. So, there's a lot of players to come through. So, but again, it's exciting, and all those decisions obviously weigh on your shoulders, and a lot points at you at the end of every game. But with the captaincy comes performance, and you would like to perform and be that person to take the team home. Obviously, last night I was disappointed I got out first ball, but as you can see, Tim tonight, he's taking on the opportunity and looks like he's loving it. He wants to be the one that takes the team all the way through to the 20th over, and it's a good thing for me to see.
A change in the bowling attack. It's that man again, Avinash Bora, into his second over. You obviously saw a bit of him in yesterday's game. Needless to say, he is possibly going to continue the legacy of the great Lassit Malinga. Okay, this man, slingy action, loves bowling his Yorkers, targeting those toes.
Yeah, he looks like a very promising bowler for Nepal. I think, he's obviously very accurate and he can change of pace.
Having said that, guess what Tim Davids does? Tonks him over mid-wicket for a massive 6, and Tim's absolutely loving this.
And he can change of pace.
No grounds big enough for the big Tim
Having
Davids.
said that,
I'll tell you something, the Indian Association here in Singapore is nowhere close to big enough. Tim Davids is hitting it big and it's hitting it long. 92 for 2 now into the 13th over, and the captain, 37 of 25. That must give him plenty of confidence and possibly the momentum that they need going into the final 7 overs.
Yeah, definitely. I think maybe he's got his angles wrong here. I think maybe coming over the wicket and going into leg stump would be the better option for me. Obviously, he's going to clear his front leg and take on the short boundary straight there. So, maybe a short pitch ball or hard into the deck would be a good option right now. To me, it looks like they've gone gone for the death option a little bit too soon right now. Maybe just stick to your guns and try and get a wicket, especially get Tim out now, and it could change the game totally and get 2 new batsmen at the crease, and the game's turned on its head.
Very sensible here from the captain. Mighty 6 over mid-wicket, and then what he does the next ball, he's happy to tuck it down on to the leg side for a single and get off strike. Very sensible. And Manpreet Singh, how important has his role been in this partnership? 10 of 15, happy to play second fiddle, and he's okay with the captain, Tim Davids, taking charge. Talk to us a little bit about this tournament, Sean. It is obviously 6 league games. There is no final. How do you approach a tournament like this?
Obviously, it's our first time coming into a tournament like this without having a final. Obviously, we want to win every game and win every game as comfortable as possible. So we take it game by game and take it step by step and just follow our processes and stick to our plans for as long as possible. Execution is obviously key when it comes down to the skills and on the field stuff. Rest is extremely important in a T20 tournament like this when you have games so close to each other. It takes a lot out of you a T20 game. Funny enough, bowlers are bowling quickly through their overs, and some fielders are going from long on to long on, cow corner to cow corner. So, yeah, it's just nice. It's nice to have a tournament that's short and quick, but at the same time, you've got to be clever about your rest and your recovery and your stretching and just all the basics about cricket.
Yeah, so it's not just about advancing to the latter half of a tournament in any given tournament that you play, but it's also about the match practice, the exposure at the international level that's going to do the boys a world of good.
Yes, exactly. And obviously there's pressures that come with that, during the game, during training, and that you don't really have those pressures. In a game, you've got the crowd, you've got the umpires, you've got the lights on. All of a sudden, things change. All of a sudden, you can't hear anything, you can't seem to think. So we try and train under those conditions, but it's obviously difficult to. So having come from Bangladesh to here, a lot of our boys which have come from there obviously have dealt with that and felt those pressures. As we saw last night, Ryan Bill and Mutambami, they soaked up the pressure for us so nicely that it was such a good thing to see for us moving forward as a team.
Just that card that you just saw on your screen is an indication of how Singapore have gone about this innings. Useful partnerships right from the very beginning, and they find themselves in a pretty decent platform to go big in the final 6 overs. 22, 35 and 37 this partnership. Down the track, Tim Davids again. Almost overran, did the long on fielder. Can afford to smile because he manages to stop it. 150, 160 on the cards, Sean?
Yeah, definitely. Look, I think this is the over that Tim's going to look to take on here. I think they'll both probably try and go. Maybe Manpreet will try and get one here and get Tim back on strike. Obviously, actually, he might have got away with the boundary there. No, he's got 2. But definitely, this looks like the over that they're going to target here. If they get a good 15 to 20 runs this over, you might even be looking at closer to 200.
Singapore scored 191 the last time these two teams played in the final of the Asia T20 qualifiers. Excellent, a good looking cover drive there, confident looking Manpreet Singh. And it was that man, Tim David, who led the charge on that day as well. 73 in just 44 deliveries. 14 overs completed, 99 for 2. Right, you're watching live pictures of match number 2 of the Singapore Tri-Nations T20I, brought to you by Instagram. Plenty of options for you to find live coverage. VC Sports, Willow HD TV, Facebook handle of Singapore Cricket Association, and the fan code app by Dream11 as well. We have a decent crowd in for today. Obviously, a very good Nepali contingent here in Singapore. And no surprises as to why we have a good crowd in today. The home team, Singapore, are in action. It's not often that they get to see their team play here, so they've come out in decent numbers. Manpreet Singh, he's been doing this all through this innings. He's happy to hand over the strike back to Timothy Davids, and with just 6 overs left, we might just see Tim David shift a gear or two.
Definitely, I think he's going to start targeting the short straight down. He might actually start giving himself a little bit of room to the leg side to clear through the off side, or he's going to come out down the wicket and take on that short boundary, like I said.
Six league matches in this tournament. Each team plays the other teams twice in fact, my apologies. Full toss, straight back past the bowler, and stopped by the captain, Paras Katka. Yeah, Tri-Nation Series. Each team plays the other 2 teams twice. A total of 6 matches. Remember, there is no final, so we have 6 league games, but plenty of match practice for all the 3 teams here. Wayward delivery by Karan Casey down the leg side, and the umpire is happy to stretch his arms. Wide signal. Sean, what do you think were your key takeaways from last night's game?
I think we started off really well with the ball. We obviously put pressure on them very early on. They didn't manage to get a boundary. Well, they got a few boundaries, but they were still, the scoring rate was really low. I thought our fielding was really good. I was very impressed with that. And in the middle period as well,
Up goes the umpire's finger. Against the run of play, Manpreet Singh misses a straight one, and he will have to make the long walk back to the pavilion. Karan Casey strikes again, and that's wicket number 2. This is probably what Nepal needed at the moment. They need to get some wickets to stop the stem of runs. Quick look at this ball once again. Missed a straight one, and the umpire, no hesitation whatsoever in lifting the finger. And that's wicket number 3. 102 for 3 Singapore. Right, it's going to be Janak Prakash, the new batsman for Singapore. We heard a lot about him. Talented all-rounder for Singapore. Always contributing with the bat, with the ball. And his job will probably be to give Tim Davids enough of support for the rest of the innings.
definitely, I think he'll be looking to rotate the strike as much as possible now, and be the guy to obviously keep wickets in the bank leading up into the last 2-3 overs. Yeah, I think if Nepal can pick up another wicket or 2 here, it will definitely stop the run rate, and it will bring it down quite considerably. So yeah, let's see how he goes about his innings. Yeah.
And he's off the mark straight away. Pushes it down the ground for a single. And that brings the captain, Tim David, back on strike. Sean, captaining Zimbabwe or sitting in the comp box? Which do you think pressurizes you a lot more?
I think sitting in the comp box, obviously, obviously having Tino behind me, I've played with him and he's excelled in cricket, but he's starting to excel in the commentary box, so he's leaving me behind in one thing.
Tino always has a thing or two to say, doesn't he?
He can say that again.
It's fantastic to have you in the commentary box, Sean. As we come to the end of over number 15, Sean, all the very best for tomorrow's game against Singapore.
Thank you very much. Thanks for having me. I wish you guys all the very best, and it's been a pleasure to be here.
Cheers, Sean. Thank you, and I'll see you around tomorrow.
Cheers.
15 overs completed. Singapore 104 for 3, and it's going to be Tino back with me in the commentary box. Right, we're down to the final quarter of the first innings, and Tim David advances down the track, looking for that big one. Sushan Bari didn't play yesterday, comes in instead of Sandeep Johra today. A very disciplined effort from him. He got that first wicket, 19 into his fourth over. Captain Paras will take that.
Absolutely. Sweep shot, and a good sweep shot. He had to make sure that he got it square of the man at 45 and fine the man at deep backward square leg. He did that with consummate ease. Sliding down the leg side very quickly onto one knee and puts it away comfortably for a boundary.
Excellent looking sweep shot there from Janak Prakash. They will want to get a move on here. 109 with a little less than 5 overs left. They would probably target the 150 mark. Tino, you think 150 is probably good enough for Singapore against the decent looking Nepal batting lineup?
Well, I was just going to say, I think 150 they'll be disappointed with, especially if Captain Timothy David bats the majority of these last overs. Is 150 enough? It possibly could be. But I think they'll be targeting 160 plus from here. Especially if Timothy David bats the majority of these remaining 4 overs after this one.
And you can see him starting to open up already. He's eyeing the boundaries on the leg side, fancies himself against the left arm spin of Sushan Bari. Down the track once again, swats it hard, straight to long on this time. Just a single though. A very disciplined effort from Sushan Bari. Considering that this is just his first game, Paras Katka will be quite happy. And there you go, the quick high five as well. 16 overs completed. Right, we're down to the final 4 overs of the first innings, and a change in the commentary box as well. A very familiar voice in this part of the world, Shehzad Haq. Welcome. and he's going to be giving company to Tino for the remainder of this innings.
Thanks very much, Nav. And good to be with my man Tino here. Good to be involved here with this tri-series. That's a lovely swat, isn't it? Some might say agricultural. Tino, you play those kind of shots ever in your time? Or you're more orthodox? Yeah.
In the backyard, definitely. I think I've been seen playing shots like that in Test match cricket. I wouldn't be in the lineup.
That might be it for you, right? Yeah, yeah.
Good to have you.
Yeah, very.
You in a couple of days.
Yeah, I thought I'd drop by, come keep you guys company. I've been enjoying watching the cricket, listening to you guys, and this is very big for Singapore cricket, of course, having the likes of Zimbabwe and Nepal. And having test players commentating with us gives us it's a great feeling. What have you made so far of the way Singapore have been batting? Has that gone all the way? No, it's a 4. But he's happy to play any kind of shot, isn't he?
At this stage, it looks like they really want to get a move on. Just before you came in, we were talking about what they would be happy with as a total with Nav, and I just alluded to the fact that I thought that 150 would be something that they'll be disappointed with, especially if Tim David continues in the vein that he's in. 118 already, just 2 balls into the 16th over, so I think they're targeting 160, 170 plus, and they can get that. In the air.
Oh, that's just got...
All the way.
Took out a spectator. Janak clearly been brought in to just help accelerate things, perhaps.
I think you can take away the perhaps there. The last couple of balls we've seen in the Sova.
Absolutely.
He's definitely a man on a mission. Prakash, 16, just 6 deliveries. Doesn't look like he wants to hang around. 124 for 3 now, halfway through the 17th over.
And it's good for Timothy as well, isn't it? Because he was getting the bulk of the boundaries earlier. Wow, wouldn't you know it? He does do singles.
He does indeed. Maybe because there's only a couple of balls left, he wants to be the other end.
Yeah.
To try and
Sorry, Tim.
to try and take on the bowlers as much as possible. Some good cricket in between those big hits. You certainly need to make sure that you're rotating that strike. 2 balls to go in the over. 12 from it already.
That's been a very good over for Singapore. And Tim now facing. Can he continue this big hitting that we've seen so far? Just the one. It's a misfield. Not something that you want to be seeing from a Nepali perspective. And it just gets a bit frustrating, doesn't it? Teammates will just get a little bit. It's not what you need right now.
Especially at this stage of the innings,
Yeah.
what I was going to say. They've been pretty good in the field, though. You look at them last night, you look at them today. They look like they're a very energetic outfit. Get around in the field. And that's what would hurt the bowler even more when they have a misfield, because he knows the quality of field that he's got. It's a good ball to finish the over. 17 gone, 127 for 3.
Still lots of batting to come, as you just saw. 3 overs left, though. Singapore in a very nice position, I think, very comfortable. But they just want to get, I think, as you heard there from Tino, 160 odd.
Yeah, it will be interesting to see how this is going to go with Sandeep Lamichhane into his last over. We've seen Tim David take on those straight boundaries with a fair bit of success already today. We saw Richmond Mutumbami doing the same thing for Zimbabwe last night.
Excellent figures so far, isn't it, for Lamichhane, as you'd expect.
And hats off to Singapore, by the way, with regards to the manner that they've played him today. The Zimbabwean batsman yesterday looked to try and get after him, lost crucial wickets at a crucial stage in the innings at the beginning. And yesterday he was used early because Paras Khadka realized that I need to get early wickets and this is the man that can do it for me. Today they've come out here and they've played him knowing that he's only got 4 overs. Let's not give him wickets. And that's the reason why they are in such a good position. 128, halfway through the 18th over, but still 7 wickets in hand. Very, very key.
Yeah. Now Tim David, a single to make his 50. And he gets it. Tim David with the half century. Nicely done today, off 38 balls. But he'll want to push on.
I think we can see him spread his wings a bit, if I can use that analogy from here on. He's been exemplary. Kept the innings together, rotated the strike in between. When the ball presented itself in areas where he can score, he did that. It's been a really good innings, and as you say, he'll want to go on from here. If he can get himself to the end of the innings, I can see a formidable total on the board for Nepal to chase second time round.
We'll reverse there. It's gone all the way for 4. And yeah, frustration, I think. A little bit apparent here from some of the fielders.
Nicely played. He's got that right in between that backward point and the short third man. Acres of space there, and we've talked about how quick this outfield is. Once you get it past that inner ring, especially straight with the shorter boundaries, guaranteed boundaries. This time the conventional sweep.
Well, this has been positively slow from Singapore in comparison to what we've seen recently. But it is a good bowler. 134 for 3 off 18. You're watching the Trination series here, of course, powered by Instarem. Wonderful tournament that we've got here in Singapore, live from the Indian Association ground. A couple of overs left here for Singapore. Avinash Bohara is on. Well, he got away with that one, didn't he? Janak trying to push at everything now. You still sticking with 160?
Tough call now, but I'll stick with 160. I think, as I said, anything less than that, maybe a little bit of disappointment for Singapore because they've set this up really nicely.
That's a couple of dots as well. It's been good for Avinash. Now that pressure just coming into your mind now, isn't it? Janak knows he's got plenty of batting to come.
Oh, that's well bowled.
Brilliant.
That's really, really well bowled. Two good Yorkers. Derailing total of 160 here, I think.
I wonder they're hearing us out there, because there's maybe a little point to prove, perhaps, that they want to bring it back, because Nepal, they've been under the cosh a fair bit, haven't they, today? The last few overs in particular. See if they can get to even 150 now. Wow, that's identical.
Absolutely brilliant.
Fantastic.
Navneet was letting me know that they refer to him as the Lasith Malinga of Nepal. And those last three deliveries just
He'd be proud of
proving
it, wouldn't he?
exactly that.
Yeah,
Really well bowled, and
this is exactly what you want at the death. Well, he needed that. Is it going to go? No. Very nicely done, Sompal. But what an over this is.
absolutely. And Tim David will be a bit irked, I think, that he gets one ball at the end of the 19th over.
He's chomping at the bit. I'm sure he just wants to... Well, let's see if he tries to just push this for a single.
I reckon he's going to try and go out the park, yeah. Well bowled.
Yeah.
Really good ball to finish the penultimate over. So 19 overs gone. Just the one to complete the first innings here. 136 for 3.
Final over of Singapore's innings. 136 for 3. Sompal to bowl this final over. And we've just seen some excellent bowling. Can he continue that? Vital that he keeps the runs down here. Premeditated, of course, from Janak, who was swinging away, wasn't he, in that last over? Desperate to get some kind of contact on the ball.
Good work, mind you, from Nepal captain Paras Khadka at extra cover. He'll be quite happy, I think, with the manner in which the back end of this innings has gone. At one stage, it really did look like Singapore were going to get comfortably past the 150 mark. At the moment,
They'll be quite happy with
balls
that.
to go. They're going to be struggling to get there.
And also, a good statement of intent to put Sompal on. He's taken a fair bit of stick already, and given him the faith to bowl his final over. Straight down. Just a single again. Well, they've tightened it up, haven't they? And this is, if you're Nepal now, you go in at the break, keeping it to under 150, you're feeling very, very pleased, given the situation it was just a few overs ago. And they'll be in a bit of a high.
Absolutely. When you come out to bat, it just gives you that little bit of extra oomph. Good finish to the innings, guys. Crashed and 4. I'll be happy with that, Timothy David. Boundaries have been hard to come by in the last couple of overs at the end of this innings. This time taking advantage of that low full toss.
Yeah, attempted Yorker. Didn't quite work out for him. Sompal Kami. And he was getting this sort of treatment earlier.
Can they get past that 150 mark? It's just a psychological barrier, that isn't it? Bang.
Well, that was there to
Again.
hit. Oh, it's another misfield. Well, it won't quite get to the boundary though. Been a few of these.
Very uncharacteristic of the Nepal side. A couple of misfields today. Not quite what we saw last night from them.
Last couple of balls here. Ooh. Thought about that, and he's given it. Well, it could still hit your 150.
Yeah, it's one stroke away, isn't it? A couple of balls to go. You'll feel if he misses his mark here. Timothy David, who's been brutal on anything not in the area it should be, will put it away. Oh, that's a beautiful ball.
That's what he was.
Yorker.
Yeah, absolutely. That's what he was trying to do earlier on. That's what we saw from Avinash as well in that previous over. So we're going to get a last ball 6 here from Tim David to hit 151. Not for lack of trying, I'm sure. There we go. He hits it and he walks off. Dismissive. Tim David does it. They're definitely listening to us, I'm sure of it.
They definitely are, I think. Got a little earpiece in there. Just missing that length, Yorker length that he's looking for. And Tim David puts that away for that last.